Welcome into the WCS Sports Connection. I'm your host, Patrick Whitlock, County Athletic Director, and with me as always is Tate Mathews. Tate, how you doing today?
Doing great. Glad to be back on WCS Sports Connection. By all reports that I got back, your first show as the executive producer, the host. Great job.
Yeah, rave reviews.
Rave reviews.
Rave reviews, pretty much from my parents, but nonetheless, hey, we'll take it.
Darren's parents were his biggest fans. I don't think Jeremy's parents watched, but Darren's parents were his biggest fans, and so hey,
do a whole show on that. So anyway, week 0 is in.
You always got somebody on your back.
For sure. Week 0 is in the books, but today we're going to lead off with some fall sports previews, and then we will get to some football recaps. But before we kind of get into the fall sports, anything stick out to you about week 0?
One thing, don't get mad at me here. Basketball guy. I think they did away with week 0. It's no longer week 0 anymore. They went back, and I kind of liked it. They went back to week 1, and so now it's week 1 goes through week 11.
Well, you learned something
clear
new.
As mud. But yes. So the first thing that stuck out about week 0 is it's no longer week 0.
Yes.
Yeah, man. I mean, well, yeah. I think we're going to be really good across the board. And the thing that stuck out to me the most was I think that Independence, who we were talking about, could they be the surprise? I don't think after about week 2 or 3, I don't think it's going to be a surprise anymore.
No,
I think they're pretty good.
Won't be sneaking up on anybody.
No.
Learn something new every day. Week
what about
1. I was really impressed with Ravenwood coming back. We'll obviously get to touch on this a little bit later, but they were in deep trouble midway through the second quarter on the road, long way from home, new coach. So I thought that was pretty impressive. Williamson County Schools 7-2 overall, not a bad start.
Not a bad start at all.
Good deal. So speaking of domination, as I was prepping for the show, this could be the most dominant fall season we've ever had in Williamson County sports. As I was adding it up, if Fairview football can kind of make a run at it, you theoretically could have 10 Williamson County teams across different classifications be in the mix to win a state title here in the fall.
That's pretty strong.
Very strong. So we're going to roll through it today because we want to cover all these sports: golf, volleyball, cross country, and girls soccer, all kind of staples of WCS dominance. So we're going to lead it off with some girls golf. Just a quick recap of last year. Before we start, 10 AA is what the big schools play in. First of all, you got to finish top 3 in the district to get to region, and then you have to win the region to get to the state tournament. And you can qualify as an individual based on some region scores, but it doesn't get much tougher than that to get out of this district.
Yeah, I was going to say, out of all the sports, that I'm trying to think as you were talking, that sounds like that's the hardest district in a sport to get through. To get to the state tournament, that's tough.
Sure. And every Williamson County team, very competitive. Obviously, we got a pretty good pedigree for golf in this county.
Really good at golf.
Yeah, but starting off with the girls, speaking of good, Paige won state last year, and it looks like Paige and Ravenwood, who are going to play this week, have a match this week, could be the top 2 in the district. But lots of talent all the way around. Brentwood, led by Avon Calvert, who is an OTL member, obviously a big fan of hers, also was a Tennessean player to watch. And then the early surprise this season, Caitlin Verney, who has led them through match play. Centennial returns Sammy Troll, who looks to make the region after losing a heartbreaker last year in the district tournament. Indy returns junior Jillian Corley, also a Tennessean player to watch. Freshman Laurel Bartos was the medalist in their match win over Brentwood. Nolensville looks to qualify for the region, led by Rika Arnett, who was region qualifier a year ago. And then Paige, obviously the headlining group. Now, do you think it's a big advantage that Paige just has that wonderful golf course right there in their zone that is pretty amazing?
Well, if not, it sure is a heck of a coincidence because the growth of the Paige program timed with the Grove over there it sure seems like they might go hand in hand.
No doubt. I was out there for the Live Tour. I think it was last summer, and walking on that fairway, I thought it was turf. I mean, it was an unbelievable.
Please tell me you didn't pull a John Daly and take your shoes and socks off.
No, I didn't do any of that. But they let us walk across. It was all legal. Don't worry about it. But anyway, they're led by Brooke Bennett, who was a Wilco winner a year ago.
I feel like, not to interrupt, I feel like she's been a Wilco finalist for the last 8 years. Seems like she's been here for, you know what I'm saying?
Well, when you're good as a freshman, it seems like you're there
Yeah.
a long time. She's a Western Kentucky commit, Wilco winner last year, like I said, Tennessean player to watch. They have a freshman, Shashi Ecker, and then Stella Edwards, probably one of the favorites to win state when you look at it. And then Coach Craig, very high on his Ravenwood team, bringing back Annabelle Walton, who finished 6th in the state last year, one of the highest finishers in Williamson County. And Coach Craig, as always, thinks they're going to be in the hunt.
Oh, yes. But he waits until September to really ramp that thing up.
Yeah, he does. He's a true coach at heart. And then Summit returns 3 of their top 4, looking to build on a region appearance a year ago. Zoe Poirier, Addison Smith, and then Cameron Poirier, who was 3rd in the region and played in the state tournament a year ago. Like I said, Page and Ravenwood play this week. That could go a long way in deciding who wins the regular season and how that shapes up. Now, boys golf, we have a dynasty on our hands. The Brentwood Bruins have won 3 of the last 4 state titles, including 2 in a row. I know Coach Saunders thinks he's got a pretty good chance to win 3 in a row. But just getting out of whoever gets out of the region is obviously going to be the odds-on favorite to probably win this. So in the smaller division, Fairview, Coach Ricky Jones, putting it together early this season, 4-0, got 5 seniors on the team. Matthew Coleman had a 3-under par, 33 in their last match. I can't relate to shooting that well. What about you?
No, I don't. I can't even shoot that well on putt-putt.
Yeah, that was going to be my line. You stole it, but that's okay. All right. Again, Coach Saunders, Brentwood looking for their 3rd straight title, led by seniors Graham O'Neill, Bennett Lind, and Luke Purifoy. They finished 9th this summer in the prestigious Pinehurst Invitational, and they're 2-0 so far on the year. Centennial looks to make regionals, led by junior Hudson Odom and sophomore Eli Lewis and Conan Mabry. Franklin, led by senior Jackson Lively, who was the 2023 district champ 2 years ago, and Colin Cheney. Indy had the best finish in school history a year ago, finished 4th, got all juniors, led by Jeb and Ben Blackbird. Jeb was district and region champ a year ago, so some strength there. Nolansville returns a region qualifier, John Clint, along with Cooper Van Dyke. And then Page, probably the other strong contender here, led by Jake Eichhoff, who was the Tennessee Junior Cup MVP in 2024, Braden Bennett, and Reed Bostelman. The team shot 11 under in the region, but failed to make state. And they got a big match this week with a bunch of private schools. They got BGA, BA, and FRA, and Coach told me 5 of the top 6 golfers in the state are going to take part in that match. So they're not shying away from competition.
No, and they shouldn't. That's crazy. 11 under in the region, and they don't make it.
Yeah. So
and no seniors in the top 8. You talked about they're making the Alphabet League, the Alphabet School League tour next week. I think that's great, man. Let's play the best. Let's find out what we're all about. You know, going into last season, at the beginning, it changed pretty quick. But Coach Joins thought Page was kind of like the dark horse to win the state championship, and then we found out Brentwood was just gonna,
destroy everybody.
Bell to bell that thing, and there was just nothing anybody could do about it. But
yeah, that's the crazy thing about golf. You know, you have one bad day in the region tournament, you're done. But whoever gets out of that district, or that region rather, probably odds-on favorite to win it. So Page and Brentwood, both strong contenders to play in the state tournament and possibly win it if they can get there. All right, going to move on to cross country. Last year, Fairview finished 9th in AA. Brentwood won it in AAA. Nolansville finished 3rd. Page finished 4th. There is a familiar face that is no longer with us in terms of competing, Claire Segal, who won the individual title for Nolansville last year, also a 3-time Wilco winner. So a little bit of a changing of the landscape here in girls cross country with the superstar not here anymore.
That's right. Well, and it's we hate to see her go because she's such a just such a fine young lady and great person, great student, just a great citizen, right? I mean, all the stuff she did in the community, but also one of the greatest athletes to ever come through Williamson County, period. Yeah. Any sport, doesn't matter.
Extremely decorated.
Probably the most dominant. And not to be gloom and doom, but when she was there, nobody else had a chance to win. She could be injured. She could be 75%. She could fall. It didn't matter. Nobody had a chance to win if she was there. You just didn't. So that's what's pretty exciting.
You were running for second.
You were running for second at best. I mean, it just was what it was.
Well, that does open it up on the AAA level. Fairview has a senior-laden team, but the headliner in the top classification, again, is Brentwood, going for their 6th consecutive championship. That's kind of crazy. Led by sisters Lauren and Leah Banavec, and they won their Saturday Night Fever contest or meet in Hendersonville over the weekend. So look like they're coming back strong.
That's a pretty cool meet, by the way.
Yeah, it looked awesome.
Yeah,
they had a bunch of photos posted, getting that season going there. Lauren finished first in that with a time of 17:30, new school record. Not bad. Centennial is going to be led by Larkin Johnson, who currently is number 2 in the state, and Avery Moran. Franklin poised to make a move as Sienna Thompson, who is just a sophomore, and Alessandra Halloran, a junior captain, project to be in the hunt for a berth in this season's state championships. Ravenwood finished runner-up this weekend at the Green Hill Invitational, and Summit is led by Lorelei Witten, Sienna Anderson, Kinsey McConaughey, and who were all All-State qualifiers a year ago. So again, like I said, this could be the strongest year fall sports ever. You've got a reigning girls golf champion, a reigning boys champion, and then Brentwood also the reigning girls cross country champions. So it could be a banner year as we kind of move forward.
Yeah, it could. The exciting thing is what we were talking about is let's see who's going to step up now that Claire's not there. The exciting thing, but also I would think kind of the frustrating thing on the girls' side, you mentioned all those other teams, and it's been fun to watch. The other cross-country teams in the county, especially on the ladies' side, are getting better, a lot better.
Oh, for sure.
Problem is Brentwood's just a dynasty right now.
Right, and you look at the finishers last year. It's just littered with Williamson County schools in the top 8. So really, kind of anything goes. Again, one of those days.
Oh, and by the way, Brentwood had another set of twins move in that are really good. So they just got stronger.
That's what happens when you have a successful program. People come to you.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to boys cross country. In AAA last year, Fairview finished 8th in the state, and in AAA, again, showing how strong Williamson County is. Nolensville 2nd, Brentwood 4th, and Indy 8th. Fairview in a little bit of a rebuilding mode. They lost all but 2 of their top runners. Heavy freshman class led by Riles Leonard, who finished 8th in the state last year. Riles Laron, excuse me. Brentwood has a very young team. Only 2 of their top 7 are back. But at Saturday Night Lights, Kaylor Vaughn ran a time of 15:50, and Cutler Embry 15:54. Finished 1 and 2 overall in that meet. Finished 3rd as a team. Centennial has a lot of experience. Their top 7 runners have been running together for the past 3 years. Franklin returns 3 of the top 4 runners, led by Trey Gamble, Owen Hurst, and their top returnee Eli Pierce, who has a personal record of 16:35. Ravenwood always have a strong program under Coach Miller, hoping to compete for the region and state, led by all mid-state honorees a year ago, AJ Allgood and Kevin Rocha. They finished 5th in the Green Hill Invitational. And Summit returns Caden Pease, who was the fastest freshman in the state last year. So again,
that's pretty strong.
3 teams finishing in the top 8 a year ago. You got to like the chances of somebody to break through and win it this year.
Yeah, I do too.
In a sport that we're traditionally very good at. Speaking of sports that we are traditionally very good at, girls soccer. Not quite the headlining sport outside of football in the fall, but pretty good. And this is one of those where we have a team in one classification that has a really good chance, Fairview, and then AAA. And I think the interesting part when you talk about Williamson County is if you look to other parts of the state, like if you look towards West Tennessee, it's typically like Collierville or Houston. Those are the 2 programs that always make a run. East Tennessee, it might be Farragut. Farragut and Bearden.
Hardin Valley now, but yes.
Right.
Yep.
But when you look at Williamson County, it is just an endless cycle of teams that are making the state tournament. I know 2 years ago, Ravenwood finished 6th in the district and goes all the way to the championship game.
Crazy.
Last year, Page and Franklin both made the semifinals. You would expect 2 teams to get out of sectionals and into state if possible. But I think probably one of the more interesting stories here is Fairview, returning 9 of 11 starters off a sectional team a year ago and 82% of their goal scoring. They had 3 players in the Tennessean watch list, including Malaya Martinez, Emily Kwan, and Ava Sullivan. 2-1 so far this year. They got arch rival Sycamore on tap this week as they begin district play. Martinez had 4 goals against Grace Christian the other day in a 5-2 win. So a lot of talent out there in Fairview. Coach Sizemore's got to be excited about his group.
He is, and they've been building this thing, right? He's been the coach the whole time. I think that's a big, you know about that. I think that's a big part of it, that having that, that has been a sport, especially there that there hasn't been a whole lot of consistency with the coaching, right? Coach Sizemore's been there for several years now, and they've been building this thing. We talk about it all the time. Watching the growth of kind of the minor sports at Fairview has been fun to watch. You're sitting there, a decade ago, are we talking about Fairview is in the running for cross country or Fairview's in the running for golf? No, you know what I'm saying? Watching the growth of those sports, those minor sports at Fairview has been awesome to do, and girls soccer is one of them. But I think that's the biggest part. A lot of talent, obviously, but they've had consistency with the coaching and of the program.
Yeah, definitely on the rise. Going to be exciting to see how that storyline plays out. Now, District 10 AAA, all Williamson County schools. You talk about a gauntlet, and it is just brutal. Any team that can get through this district and into the region tournament is going to have a chance to advance. Brentwood, led by Kayla Childs, Presley Overgaard, and Maggie Green. Centennial returning 8 starters off a team that got ousted in kind of dramatic fashion last year, led by Cassie Uzelman, who's a College of Charleston commit. They've played 3 games, I think, and she already has 5 goals, 7 assists. They went to the Smoky Mountain Cup this weekend.
That's crazy.
She's just tearing it up. I've actually known that family for a long time, and when she was 5, she was playing up and just running past kids like crazy. So obviously she's got a bright future ahead of her. Franklin, who has always had an unbelievable soccer program, graduated 14 seniors, which is kind of crazy.
Think about that.
Yeah, I mean, 14. That's great.
You only put 11 on the field.
Right. But has Aubrey Gates reigning District Offensive Player of the Year, and Azumi Wakatuski, who is on the national team. So they still have some talent there. I apologize if I did not pronounce that right. I'll get it right next time. Indy with a new coaching staff led by Mackenzie Klein, who's committed to McNeese State. Nolensville, I know Coach Shelton has constantly mentioned to me how young his team is.
Yeah.
That could be a rough, road ahead when you're young in this district, but Coach Shelton got a pretty good reputation. Should be able to coach them up. Ravenwood has a new coach, and Elizabeth Kapler, who is prominent in the club scene here, taking over for the legend Jessica Mancini.
Golly.
It's hard to believe she's gone.
I know.
We wish her the best of luck. Had a great run there.
Not only that, but a great run with
flag football
as well.
Been a rough year for the Raptors in terms
of
losing coaches.
Golly.
Lost a couple they, didn't want to lose, and then me. So anyway, Summit, I think, could really be, I don't know if you can really call them a sleeper, coming off one of their best seasons in school history, has junior Summer Riley, who is a Wilco winner, I believe a Mississippi State commit, goalkeeper Lillian Williams, and also Alana Floyd. They're aiming, the goal's pretty high there. They're aiming for a state title. District play for some of these schools is going to begin, I believe, next Thursday.
Yep.
And that's going to be brutal to see which teams can get through that, because I don't see anybody running the table in that district.
A lot of parity. What's going to be interesting to me is I think Franklin, not only 14, they lost 14 seniors from last year, but also a coaching change.
Right.
So Coach Burgoyne is not the coach anymore going forward. So not that it's not going to be a bad thing. They're in good hands, but it's different.
Right.
Like, there is an unknown now, right? And especially with 14 seniors being gone. So It's going to be fun to watch. And then you were mentioning Mackenzie Klein. I've known her since she was running around with her probably still a bow in her hair, playing soccer in kindergarten. So we've known it's great to see how well she's doing, because just some kids, when she was in kindergarten, you knew she was going to be a good soccer player. So fun to watch.
It's funny how you can just pick these kids out when they're young. You're like, wow, if they stick with it, they're good. Now, probably the headlining sport outside of football, but volleyball. Last year, District 10 AAA has all the large schools, just like soccer. Nolensville beats Brentwood for the state championship. Now, I went back and did some research because I wanted to see how dominant. In this century, 2000 on, obviously you knew that, but in this century, 20 of the 24 AAA titles have been Williamson County schools.
Okay, now that's even more dominant than I would have thought.
Yeah.
I would have lost that bet.
And it's crazy because it's been a different mixture of schools. Brentwood has always had a dominant program, all right, with the GOAT, Barbara Campbell. But Brentwood won 8 from 2013 to 2020. Ravenwood won 3 in a row before that and played for 5 state titles in a row, losing that last one to Brentwood. Nolensville won in 2021 and 2024, and I believe in 2020 they won the AA title.
They did.
So as I think about volleyball in this landscape, you've got Coach Campbell at Brentwood. You had Coach Tracy Berry, who had a heck of a run at BGA and then at Ravenwood.
Correct.
And so you've had these iconic coaches, and now the next one you can add to this mix is Brett Young, right? Because, I mean, he has just been utterly dominant.
Yes.
You know, Wilco Courage winner last year. You know, so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Again, you get out of district in this, 2 teams can get out of district, you feel really good about your chances to make the state tournament. You know, on the AA side, Fairview has a new coach in Kayla Heggie. Brentwood, when you look at their roster, is unbelievably loaded. So returners from last year, Lauren Duncan, who's a BYU commit, Eliza McKnight, who's a Western Kentucky commit and was a region MVP a year ago, Daisy Oatsfall, who's a North Florida commit. And here's the kicker. They got 2 kids that have been going to Brentwood that haven't played until this year.
Yep.
And those are seniors that they expect to contribute immediately. Libero Queen House, who's a Syracuse commit, and setter Lindsay Large, a JMU commit. They've attended Brentwood, haven't played because they've been part of TVP's lab program the past few years. I mean, that's a pretty dominant lineup you're putting out on the floor with 5 college commits. I would have to say I bet there's not a lot of programs across the country that can boast that kind of number.
No, and especially not in the state. And you're right, they will add big time. Lindsay Large, really good player that will be the setter, and then libero. I've seen Queen House play. They just, I mean, I don't even really know what to compare.
It's kind of a baller name too.
Oh, big time.
I mean,
you remember her brother played football.
Oh yeah, John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He used to make the Ravenwood Raptors upset, but
Yeah.
I don't even know what to compare this to, you know. But yeah, they've been there. So don't see this, and when you go to a game, think, oh man, they brought some transfers in here, you know, because of the one-time transfer rule. No, they've been there.
Right.
They just haven't been playing school volleyball. They've been playing all club over at TPV. I'm just telling you that this makes an already good team a really good team.
Yeah, could be a huge year for the Bruins. Centennial got a younger team led by Madison Riles. Franklin, new coach, Michaela Beebe, who was at Fairview, moving over, led by Lucy Rigger, Emily Garner, Maggie Murr, Bryce Pennington, and Cecily Brandamore, basketball player.
Big time. Miss Double-Double. The Timmy Duncan of the ladies' side on.
Got some pretty good size, too. Yeah,
yes.
For sure. Indy has a new coach led by Elia Dinsmore, Reagan Birch, and Hudson Fredericks. And Nolensville, okay, the other team that you would expect to be deep into competition, returns 3 starters, Taylor Collins, Avery Etheridge, and Sadie Deming. And then Summit, Maggie Calise, Madison Spelta, and Amanda Shanahan all there. So, again, huge collection of talent in Wilco. Going to be a lot of challenging nights for all these programs.
I think Brentwood, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong on this. I should have checked this out. I think Brentwood won the first set in the state championship.
Yeah, it was 2-1. It was 2-1.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I mean, we're looking really good. And then Nolensville, you know, Coach Young worked his pixie dust, and you know, they just kind of, Nolensville kind of turned that thing. But Brentwood looked really, really good. Anyways, I'm very excited about. I think there's a good chance we see another all Wilco final.
I definitely wouldn't bet against it.
And I love watching Coach Joins knows. I love watching Daisy Oatsfall play. I love watching them all play. But then you know, when they get good, the spikers, right? When that ball's coming, I wouldn't want that ball coming at me. Taylor Collins is fun to watch from Nolensville. Go watch her. I wouldn't get in front of that ball.
I'd be getting out of the way pretty quick. I probably wouldn't step foot on the floor, but that's just me. So that wraps up the fall previews. We'll obviously reference that back as we have big matchups throughout the year. And now let's get through week 1, not week 0, week 1. So we corrected that misstep by myself earlier. But County goes 7-2. Nolo falls to Lebanon, and Centennial loses to Stewart's Creek. Nolensville struggled a little bit there in the second half against, I don't really know what to make out of Lebanon, obviously a little bit bigger school than Nolensville. You probably know more about did that outcome shock you at all?
No, it didn't shock me. It did not shock me, no. But they're not Oakland. You don't have to worry about that. But they're a good quality football program. They're well coached and they had a lot of athletes coming back. So I just the outcome nothing about that shocked me. I thought that was about probably what it would be.
Now, the one that might have been a little surprising, I picked Stewart's Creek. I believe you did as well. Stewart's Creek, a team that got some votes in the coaches poll, the media poll for the top 10 in the state for 6A a week ago. Centennial right there, losing on a last second. I mean, it's kind of a last second field goal. It was about 20 seconds. I do know they kept the clock running. There was some issues with that.
Yes.
And didn't, not that would have made a huge difference, but I don't think Coach Graham was too happy about it. But
don't blame him.
Yeah. But Centennial, first game under Coach Graham, really, really competitive against, as far as we know, a Stewart's Creek team that's going to be pretty solid.
Yeah. And they put Brentwood out, right, last year in the playoffs. And they've got a really good running back in Jamarcus Brown, which he went for over 200 yards and 4 touchdowns against Centennial, but it took 36 carries to do it. So, especially a guy's competitive and it's been as many places as Coach Graham, giving up 39 points. Is he going to be happy about that? Absolutely not. The bright side is the Centennial offense scored 36 points, so they know how to score some points. They just got to clean some things up on defense. And again, Stewart's Creek is a really good offensive football team.
Yeah, it was kind of whoever has the ball last going to win that game.
Yeah, and, both of them, it's week 1, right? So you expect some of it. But I think if you talk to Coach Graham, more penalty flags against the Cougars than he would like and is okay with. So, you hate to lose that in a loss, but it's a non-region loss, right? So
right.
It counts, but it doesn't. So learn from it, but I know that's something that is going to be addressed all week long this week. We can't have that many penalty flags again.
Definitely could be a positive building block for the Cougars.
Grandjean, the quarterback, new quarterback for this year, looked good. Again, 36 points.
Something to build on.
That's something to build on for sure.
For sure. Page defeats Giles County, had a balanced attack, right in the mid-200s in terms of rushing and passing. Were any takeaways from that game?
Yeah, they're going to be really explosive on offense. Isaac Ote, 4 touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. Cameron Cruz had 3 passing touchdowns. What I liked about it, he was 9 for 11, right? So he was efficient. Balls weren't on the ground. He also had 84 yards rushing on just 7 carries. So
pretty strong.
You're the math guy. That's over. That's a first down a carry, right? Caden Ockerman picked up where he left off last year, had like 5 receptions, 174 yards, 2 touchdowns. And and then Drew Rempel played well at quarterback too. I think they have more weapons than they've ever had. It's crazy, hard to believe that, but they've got 2 legitimate quarterbacks. They've got 3 legitimate running backs. Ockerman's turning into
had a huge game.
A huge game. Big-time wide receiver. And the score doesn't bother me at all because the only reason I know it is I just know a lot about Giles County. Coach Hester will tell you, nobody runs more formations. Nobody gives you more looks. And Giles County is really good on offense. So that being said, it was 13-0, and then Giles County comes out and scores 21 points in the second quarter. Page scored 21 points in the second quarter as well. So, yeah, I think Franklin's going to be really good again. Can they be as good on defense? I don't know how you lose Brandon Ains and Eric Hazard and be as good as you were, but they're going to be pretty dang good again. And their best defensive player, Knight Wilson, wasn't out there. So,
yeah.
What do I take away from it? Long answer to a short question. I think Page is really good again.
Well, speaking of defense, Summit shuts out Spring Hill. Wasn't surprised by the shutout. I don't know how happy Coach Coleman was with his offense.
He was not happy.
Yeah, I can only imagine. So we get to bring him in later this week for the WCTV Game of the Week. So I'll be interested to hear his comments. I'm sure he'll lay it on the line as he always does.
Oh, he's going to tell you the truth, but there were things to build on. They're starting a sophomore quarterback, right? So and I think he didn't say this. I don't know, and we're in the. I don't want to disrespect kids, but you know that. You were watching film before basketball guys. A lot of basketball guys were watching film, but the film don't lie, right? So Summit knew Spring Hill couldn't beat them.
Right.
I don't know that this had anything to do with it, but I'm guessing it probably did, and the way those games have been. But anyways, Jackson Krinke had 17 carries for 81 yards and 2 touchdowns. That was a bright spot. 4 turnovers, all interceptions forced by the defense. Michael Crutcher had 2 of them. Treston Griffith and Max Nakel had 1 each. So 4 interceptions on defense. Yes, he was frustrated about some stuff, but anytime you get a shutout victory, I don't know how you can be too upset.
Yeah, win's a win.
Plus, Paulie D's over there. You got Coach Kirk Taylor running the defense, and with Paulie D helping him.
Yeah, well, they get
I'm
some
expecting
chance to
a
make
shutout every week.
Well, we'll get to that here in a minute. All right, we already kind of touched on it. Indy beats Rockvale 37-23. Solid performance for the Eagles.
Yep.
Eagle Air 2.0.
Eagle Air Indy 2.0, I think is isn't that what came out of Media Day?
I thought it was Eagle Air, but
Eagle Air.
We can go back and check
Eagle
the transcripts.
Air, Indy 2.0, whatever you want to call it. I did not know this until talking to Coach Blade. Here's what I really like about it. That score was kind of confusing. They were winning big, then they came back, and then they pulled off again. A monsoon came through.
Yeah.
And like stoppage of play, go find cover. I mean, that's a momentum killer.
That's tough.
Yeah, that's
sure.
tough. But
you know what else makes it hard to keep up with the score is when you turn off the NFHS network and the picture is so blurry on the scoreboard at Rockville you can't read it. So it was a little frustrating. So I was having to go to Twitter or X to see what the actual score was.
X.
Yeah,
I just do.
Yeah, you're right.
Elon wouldn't like it. Hey, I tell you one thing. If you get a time, get on X / I call it Twitter /X. Get on there and there's a posting of Matthew Horner had 2 touchdowns, one to Hendricks Harvey and one to Hunter Mullen, who have kind of been emerging as his top 2 targets. The touchdown reception by Hunter Mullen's a one-hander. Man, it was good looking. It was good looking. And here's the other thing. Everybody knows Coach Blade in passing, but if you really paid attention, there was always a really good running back and really good tailback, right? It didn't get the publicity that maybe the quarterbacks and the wide receivers did, but playing running back in that system is so great because you pick up a lot of not as contested yards, right? Eli Garlington with 2 touchdowns. So, I thought that was a really impressive win by Independence.
Good start for the Eagles. All right, in the WCTV game of the week, we had Fairview defeating East Hickman 49-18. Great start for Coach Hughes and the Yellow Jackets. But first, let's check out this play of the week.
A scoop and score for your Yellow Jackets, number 40, Hunter Nolan.
All right, that play of the week was Hunter Nelson, who just picked it up out of midair right there and takes it in. Great start for the Yellow Jackets, though. I mean, you kind of called this last week. You thought they would be tough to stop on the offensive side.
Yeah, they're going to be better on offense. And their guy made it, we know what happened last year. But for Hunter, you know what I took from that? I think you did too. He was where he was supposed to be, right? He was playing his responsibility where he was supposed to be. Something happened. Ball pops in his hands, goes in and makes a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way it's supposed to work.
Johnny
right?
on the spot.
Johnny on the spot.
Hunter Nolan. My
Nolan,
apologies.
Yep.
Hunter Nolan. So, moving on. Franklin shuts out Laverne, 20-0. Solid start for the Admirals.
Yeah.
It wasn't boat race city like we thought, but you'll take it.
Close. Yeah. Offense, I don't know. Offense probably didn't play quite as well, but, think about who all they're replacing, right, from last year. But anytime you get and I can tell you this, Laverne, you talk to the guys up in Rutherford County. They've been building for the past couple of years. Laverne's getting better.
Yeah.
They're athletic. They have speed. So holding them to 0 points, I think, is great. Tegan Lee, who we all know about, 12 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, 2 sacks. I love it when we get to mention the defensive guys.
That's a strong line.
And
right
John Nick Talbert had 8 tackles, 1 interception. So
very impressive. Now, and probably the game of the week. Brentwood Brentwood edges
Oh,
Smyrna.
yeah, I guess.
No,
Yeah.
not. We'll get to Ravenwood in a second.
Yeah.
They're both really good games. Brentwood struggled a little bit offensively. I think we saw some foreshadowing. Parker Emerson being moved into that quarterback role. That wasn't the plan at the beginning of the year. Who
Right.
knows how much longer that's going to have to go on as they fight through some different stuff. But coming back, scoring late, edging Smyrna 14-13. Again, we don't really know what to make of Smyrna. I don't, because it's not my wheelhouse. You probably got a better idea than I do on that. But anytime you get a win in week one, I think Coach Finch has got to be happy.
Oh, big time. No, Smyrna's a quality program. They're getting better, back to where they used to be. They're athletic, and the main thing is all those guys will tell you that Matt Williams is the head coach. When you get a Matt Williams coach team, you're going to get a well-coached, sound, fundamental team.
For sure.
So, no, that any win over Smyrna is big. And, 14-13, I think one thing that is as big as the offenses have been the past few years for Brentwood, I think really what they've kind of held their hat on is defense. Offense is going to be fine once they get everybody healthy, but the big thing is 14-13 victory. Defense only gave up 6 points. That other one was a offensive. The defense didn't give that one up. Right. So holding Smyrna to 6 points, that's a very good defensive outing.
Yeah, Brentwood just always seems to put a great defense out on the field, don't they?
No, without a doubt. Parker Emerson, as you mentioned, did. I don't think he did play QB. I think he ended up. Do you know?
No, I don't know for a fact.
I don't think he ended up.
I feel like he scored late.
He did. He had 2 touchdowns, but I think they were able to play him at running back and get him the ball some other way. So
Gotcha.
It's good to get a win like this because I do think people are sleeping on Brentwood. I would never sleep on Brentwood.
Nope, definitely not. All right, and what I would say to be probably the craziest game of week one.
Yes.
Ravenwood comes back to defeat Madison Richland, gets down 17-0. Madison Richland blocks a punt, takes a 17-0 lead. Ravenwood drives a couple times in that second quarter, only comes up with a field goal on each possession, 17-6. And in the second half, man, they just turn it on. Femi Babalola just goes on an 80-yard run, kind of shifts all the momentum. I'm sitting there watching the game thinking like I had several games on. It was kind of a nice Friday night. I had the projector up and watching one and the other one.
You were in the war room.
I was. I wanted to catch it all, and it's flipping back and forth. And then you got some schools like Laverne that don't have a feed. It's neither here nor there. But anyway, I'm sitting there.
It's because Jeremy Moore's not the AD anymore.
This is true. This is true, and we always find a way to tie in these old Wilco people, don't we?
Yes.
Anyway, they get down 17-0, and I'm sitting here thinking like this could be a total train wreck. You're 7 hours from home. You got a brand new coach. You had high expectations. You talk about fighting through adversity. When I texted with Coach Rodriguez Saturday morning, I was like, "Hey man, that's a huge win just because like everything was going against you in that game, and they came and pulled it out." I think that's going to lead to some strong momentum moving forward.
Golly, without a doubt. Yeah, man. I think. And I'm glad you said that because I think that needs to be addressed. Yeah, we know Femi went for 412 yards, which is awesome. I mean, he literally put the team on his back. Pollard had an interception and big time plays all game long. Matthew Anderson was being Matthew Anderson, right? Tackles and sacks all over. Oh gosh. But I think the thing that was most, and outside of the kid, it's always about the kids, right? But I think that was the most impressive thing. You set it all up, so I'm not going to repeat it. But everything going into halftime was not good, right? First year head coach taking over let's just be honest. Coach Hester cast a big shadow around these parts. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And Hayden Davis, first game as the offense coordinator, Drew Collier, who's been the defense coordinator. I think Coach Rodriguez deserves a lot of credit for you've done it, I haven't, for managing the staff, managing the kids, managing the game on the road 7 hours away against one of the premier programs in Mississippi. So I know, I don't know it from experience, I know from being around you, that's not easy to do. And if he didn't do a good job of managing those three things, they would have lost that game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, doubt could have started to creep in, not just with him, but with his team.
Right.
And the way they came out in the second half was impressive. And I mean, Madison Ridgeland answered a drive And so, I mean, they had to score 14 unanswered there to get that win. So very impressive, probably some momentum forward. Now, the pick'em. We are even Steven after 1 week, both going 8-1. I lost Nolensville, Lebanon. You lost Ravenwood, Madison, Richland. So we
8-1.
We evened up. So who gets to go first? We're going to talk about one of the highlight games just across the mid-state this week. Brentwood at home against Brentwood Academy.
Coach, when I first met him, he was Coach Kydell. That's how old I'm getting. But Mr. Kydell, I remember one time told me that this was one of the biggest gates they ever had. Now, it's a BA this year. But if you want a seat, you better get there pretty early.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm not even a mile apart here, are they?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I could even jog that far.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would walk it.
Yeah.
I'd meet you there. You're the executive producer. You want to go first? Or you want me to go
I'll
first?
go first. I'm going to take, I hate to do it, but Brentwood Academy's got a lot of weapons.
Jeez.
I think they're going to be able to score a little bit on this Brentwood team. I think it's going to end up being a tight game, but I think Brentwood Academy pulls one out.
Well, I'm with you, man. Here's the thing. Not only do they have a lot of weapons, and they got a lot of weapons, they also have a really good coach in Paul Wade. So we've got a great coach in Coach Finch. My point is he's not going to screw this up, I don't think. So I think there's still too many question marks right now for Brentwood. I'm going with Brentwood Academy. But I think Brentwood hangs tougher than people think.
Yeah. And if you know me, you know how much I hate to say that.
Yes.
I think Brentwood Academy is
Well,
going to win.
If anybody's doubting whether you're really competing in this shows that you're competing.
Yeah, but I'll take the loss on this one if that's how it plays out. All right. And a game that I think I'll be attending this one, watching my daughter playing the band on Friday night. And Fairview coming to this side of the county to play Centennial. I think this is probably one of the more intriguing matchups of the week.
I agree.
Who you got?
You know what, man? I'm gonna do it. Nothing in all the analytics and everything or whatever the figures says you should do it. But I know Centennial is going to be bigger, stronger, faster, probably more physical. But I like Jax McCoy at quarterback. I think this is the year. I think this is the year that Fairview picks off one of the big boys. I'm going with the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, I'm going to go the same way.
I'll be danged.
Well, yeah. Now, Jameson will probably watch the show, so I'll hear about this. Rhea probably not, being a Centennial alum.
Correct.
I doubt she's watching, but we'll see.
She might watch the YouTube clip.
And she might. We'll see. I just something about this Fairview team, had a relatively easy week in week one. Centennial kind of coming off an emotional loss. I think all that plays into it. And Fairview put up 49 points. And until Centennial stops somebody, I don't know if they're going to be able to do it this week. So, yeah, makes sense. All right, next one, Franklin and Gallatin. I'll be honest, I don't know a whole lot about Gallatin. I've been to that stadium out there before. In year one, I watched Coach Brian Rector knock them off as they were the 1 seed and the Raptors were the 4.
I remember.
That was an impressive debut there, but I'm just going to go Wilco here. I'm going Coach Adkins, the Beard, and the Admirals.
The Beard. Is that his nickname?
It
Beard?
is. It is now.
It's a magnificent beard. Well, one little side note. I'll make it quick. If you got to go all the way back to when Dr. Qualls was the show, was the executive producer of the show, and we were doing a game day. It's one of my favorite stories. Do we have time for this?
Yeah, we do.
So we're doing a game day, and he talked my TV 30 into doing it live, and kind of kicking back the kickoff from 5-10 minutes for 10 minutes for the. It happened to be Independence, and Coach Blade was hosting Hendersonville, and so at 7:00, the last 10 minutes of game day, we went live, and then Friday Night Lights kicked off at 7:10, and so we get in the car, and there was this guy on Twitter. And he was from Gallatin. He was a Gallatin Green Way fan. And he said, he put on Twitter and he added my TV 30. And he said, at my TV 30, get these clowns off my TV. They're making my ears bleed. So that's where Jeremy and I, that's where the phrase that's been going on for 10 years, making ears bleed in Gallatin, Tennessee since 2015. So that being said, looking forward to the old Gallatin faithful watching this show. I hate to do it. Gallatin's pretty good. They got a really good offense, I'm going to go Gallatin, but I hope I'm wrong.
Well, the game's not at the Sandlot, so we'll see.
That's right.
Indy versus Lincoln County.
Not trying to give you any. Not trying to manipulate you here. Lincoln County beat Marshall County last week. Most people have them picked to win 4A with their returning Mr. Football winning quarterback. That being said, Indy 2.0, Eagle Air 2.0 is back. I'm going with the Independence Eagles.
All right, I'm going with Indy too. I
just wanted to make sure you had all the
information. Until Coach
on
Blade gets beat, I'm going with the Eagles.
Okay, got it.
All right, our WCTV game of the week, Nolensville at Summit. I think this is a pretty intriguing matchup here. I just don't know how I feel, but I'm gonna take Nolensville in this one. A 5A versus 6A matchup.
Is there a reason why? I'm just curious.
I have a little bit more faith in Nolensville's ability to score than I do Summit's right now. I could be totally wrong on that, but just an educated guess here.
Nope. I'll be honest with you. If we had made these picks before Friday night's games, I would have gone Summit. But I think I'm going Nolensville too. I think they've got more offense than Summit at this point right now. And yeah, I'm with you. I think I'm going with the Knights.
All right. Page at Green Hill.
This is tough.
This is a sneaky great game because Green Hill beat Beach last week in the opener for high school football in Middle Tennessee, correct?
Thumped.
Yeah, I mean, stuck it to them.
Yeah.
Anytime you beat Beach that handily, I think you got a pretty good squad. So Page's first test of the year, what are you thinking?
Green Hill's really good, man. I went to that game because it was on Thursday night, so I went. They were really good. This is a great game. I think it's really the game of week 2. I'm talking everywhere, not just in Williams County. So this is tough. I think it's a pick 'em. I really do. But I think that Page has got too much firepower. I wouldn't be surprised if this is 55-50, but I'm going with the Patriots.
Must-see TV, I'm going with the Patriots as well. All right, last game we're going to pick, Ravenwood at Lipscomb. I'm up, I believe. I'm going the Raptors here, and I think they're going to put it on them pretty good.
Put it on them?
I don't know if it's going to be Boat Race City, but I think there's some storylines here. You know, Danny Brown transferring over, his younger brother also transferring over from Lipscomb. Lipscomb's been hit hard by the transfer portal. And I think
some of them at Page as well.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of payback city for a lot of teams. Like Lipscomb was so good for so long, kind of throwing it in people's faces, and I think now they're gonna have to deal with it a little bit.
Man, they scored more and fought McCauley better than I thought they would. Cam Blivens is a really good player, but yes, I think Ravenwood's defense is physical, fast, get after your tail. The only thing that worries me, they drove home on Saturday. Is there a little bit of a hangover here? I don't think so.
I think the momentum they gained in that second half.
I do too.
So
I do too. I don't think it's Boat Race City, but I do think it's double digits. I'm going with the Ravenwood Raptors.
Yep, I think the Raptors will be pretty motivated. So, that wraps up our second show of the year. Hope you enjoyed tuning in, and we will be back next week highlighting some of these other fall sports and what plays out this week, along with week 2 of high school football.